Underdog daily with the Badge Bros. Looks like Nez just popped back in. I think we got the tech stuff figured out. Appreciate everybody being here. I am John. That is
Jesus Christ.
Nez.
Just trying to put myself behind the shit here.
And as you can see, there's a little weirdness going on behind closed doors here, but looks like we're good to go now. I gotta ask though, Nez. I've been hearing rumors, man. Did you get a piss test in the mail?
Get a piss test in the mail. No, I did not. Why? You think I have a physical coming up?
No, I think Underdog was gonna send one your way once they seen all these recent leaderboards, dude.
Oh yeah.
I think you're on their radar. You're on the docket to be checked here. Make sure there's no performance enhancing going over there. I saw your name nearing the top of the baseball leaderboards yesterday again. There, love to see it, dude.
Yeah, I had a decent day slate, and then the main slate, I gave it all back just as I expected to. But yeah, no, we're running good. It's nice to have be on the right side of variance. It
Oh
feels
man,
good.
love it, dude. Yeah, no, it's good to see. Well deserved. You've been working really hard, and I know one big contributing factor to a lot of your recent volume is something we touched on behind the paywall the other day, but just want to hit on again here is the brand new bulk enter tool now available on mobile as well. Just speak to it, how it's been kind of like helping your process, how you've adjusted. Like, have you really upped your numbers because of it?
Yeah, I maxed the day slate today. Like
Wow,
thanks
nice.
to like almost completely thanks to this. Yeah, I'm really kind of working through different strategies on how to effectively use the bulk enter tool. And it leaves me obviously like extremely vulnerable to like big swings because it's going to lend itself to being pretty concentrated
Yep.
for on certain guys, and just and maybe less about the concentration but more about spreading out these bullets effectively. Because like today I have one share of Colton Cowser. Hopefully he doesn't do anything else, because if he does, then I'm probably screwed.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to need somebody to score more than 24 points today anyways, but just like as an example there. So just kind of working through the process of how to use this in baseball. But like, man, I posted a tweet just saying like people are not ready for what this is going to do for dailies and NBA and NFL. I mean, you can the amount of it's just gonna be nuts, man. It's gonna
Yeah.
open the door for so many different players that have not wanted to make the leap into underdog dailies because of the time factor. It's such a game changer, man. We really can't say it enough.
Yeah, and I mean, I really like this point here. Numi alluding to the fact that it's iOS only. It's on the web there too if you're an Android user. But the other thing is here that Nick's alluding to, and something that I've been experiencing primarily being a little bit of an MLB hand builder bro, lower entry kind of player the last couple days, is I've been taking note of like, oh, this person's clearly on the autopilot. This one's on clearly on the autopilot. I'm in two drafts at the same time as them. I can also take a little bit of advantage because I can anticipate where you're going
Mhm.
with something. Whereas like, oh, I know he's doing ADP, ADP, or like whatever, ranking, pitcher, and then he's doing a 3-man contrarian stack or like something like that. I can just be like, okay, as long as I don't cross over with that contrarian stack, I'll be able to get a little bit of ADP value, or I'll be able to do like something else. So what Nick's alluding to here is like the hand builder bros now have another little piece of meta to work around as well. So it works on both levels, man.
It really does. I mean,
Yeah.
it's honestly a good thing for the hand builders. I mean, yeah, you've got to compete with more lineups, but like you're also facing less people that are like, it's more of a micro edge if you are a
Mhm.
hand builder. And I still do hand build. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, just talking through that. The other big one recently, I started it last night. I think it's going to be really fun to do as a community. I wanted to do it on my own first because it is just on the iOS and we can't do it on the web just yet. Is this brand new Streaks, man? Streaks is going to be hella fun. And I can't imagine what we could do like come everyone get in sync on a streak. Let's do this together. Every single show, we're going to do one pick, and keep it going as far as it can go, kind of deal. So you start by picking two. I did the two last night. Was fortunate enough to get them correct. So then I did the third one this morning for like a Riley Green fantasy points. So we'll be sweating that one during this here. But if that goes by the wayside, tomorrow we'll start a streak, or Monday. Let's say Monday because I'm away this weekend and stuff like that. But we'll do like Monday, start a streak as a community and try and just get as far as we can go. Like it'd be so fun to be like, we're on day 7 next Monday or whatever.
Yeah, this is awesome. I hope to build up a streak that is sweat worthy at some point. Obviously, we will. Obviously,
Yeah.
but this is great. Like you said, we kind of touched on this previous show, but really excited to see what else they end up cooking up with these originals
Mhm.
that they are calling them.
Yeah. Love it seeing all the GMs in the chat. Loving seeing all these badges out here. I love that the cheese always has to come in and be like, "Yo, sorry guys, I didn't drop in," because cheese is always the first one to drop in with a GM there, and now he's got to apologize. No worries, cheese. We know in your heart of hearts you're still watching, bro. Appreciate that. Big Snacks joining up, becoming a member, gets you access to the paywall stuff there. We did a kind of an evergreen football one. It was a 2.5 hour marathon one. We did baseball and football, so that one resides behind the paywall right now. And I believe Nez, you're going to do baseball tomorrow behind the paywall.
Yep. Yeah, we got a good slate tomorrow, which is nice because today's scheduling was so stupid for
Yeah.
MLB. So it'll be nice to have a full slate of games again. A lot of start of new series. It'll be a good one.
Love it. And appreciate Numi gifting out one here to kick us off today. I know there are plenty other options on the YouTubes for adjacent style content, and you guys choosing us means the world. Drop us a thumb and all that good stuff to keep the lights on around here. Keep this train rolling. Yeah, Nez, you alluded to the fact that we basically had a 6-game slate this morning, which is ongoing. I think there's 3 games kind of live right now. Baltimore looks to be getting the best of it right now. But tonight we got something we haven't seen in a while. We got 3-person drafts, which are so effing fun and so quick on a 2-game slate. No lineups out yet for it. Some weird lefty righty split stuff that could take place with all of these lineups. And then we got one standout ace at the top of it. And then we got no 4th pitcher. To no fault of Underdogs, it's a back end provider thing like that. But it's just odd to have the rookie who has played 2 MLB games in Nacho be in the player pool, but then lifetime journeyman veteran reliever in Ross Stripling somehow not be in the player pool. So it's creating a very interesting game theory dynamic because it's a little bit of nightmare fuel here because you're either going to have to negatively correlate against yourself or you're going to have to try and push Luis Severino as far as you can, because I don't think any of us really want to get over the field on another journeyman AAA pitcher who is 29 years old, making his first start of the season, who has only 4 big league starts under his belt in Kenny Rosenberg. So it's a very, very interesting dynamic for the main slate today. How have you been tackling it, Nez?
It's Sale 1 yeah, it's Sale, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Sale,
Cover Boy Sale.
Sale 1, Severino 2, like every single time. I'm not letting myself get Kenny Rosenberg. It's
okay.
If I can help it, no way. And I'll be autoing most of these too, just full transparency, because they go by so quick. Right now in the main slate, when I auto, it takes some time for those drafts to complete. This one, like, drafts will be done very quickly. So what that'll allow me to do is change rankings more frequently, so I can like really make sure I'm like, it's basically hand picking who I want, assuming somebody doesn't snipe me. And then I can quickly make changes to those ranks. But it'll be no doubt Sale and Severino 1 and 2 in every lobby that I'm in for me.
Okay, very interesting. This is going to be a little bit of a hand builder's edge today, in some respects there, because I think like the GTO projection nut lineup you can build is taking Severino in the 4th round from the 3 hole. where you have a non-Badger or someone else in the middle, just given the fact that his projection is so far down here and it's below Rosenberg. So if you're autoing, I do agree that you probably want to just get out ahead and play the pitching from this side and then play the two higher implied run totals and not negatively correlate against yourself like that. I think from the hand builder's perspective and what I've been doing this morning, granted, I've only done a couple of them, is I try and push Severino as far as I can and hope someone else takes Rosenberg because he's projected, or at least they're projected for the same on the site, but at least his name is ahead. And you hope somebody else does that, because the way in which you're going to get like the GMs and get like the best projecting lineups today is that two people do some funky shit in your room and you get to exploit that by pushing someone to the last round. So little hand builders edge today in that regard. That being said, it's baseball. It doesn't matter. Anything can happen here. The 5 high scoring hitters on the slate could be the 6, 9, 7, and 8 holes from across 4 different teams, right? So that's just kind of like
the GM that you would pair with Severino in the 4th.
Oakland double stack on the front.
I think I can get that even by taking Severino first.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, absolutely you can. Yeah, for sure. If the 3 hole goes Atlanta. Yeah. And then it comes back. Yeah, I think you can get it. You can get access to it multiple ways. And I think that's what makes this a really fun slate right now, just in general. Okay, Nez, let's dive into the actual lineups. There's no real weather of concern, although Atlanta is kind of like listed, but we talk about that hotter, misty, rain, whatever every time here. It's very interesting because we basically have 2 better lineups with the best hitters, but they have the lower implied team totals comparative to this. But the one thing that throws a big wrench in this is the fact that the Athletics are facing a lefty. Now, I don't know how deep that lefty is going to go in the ball game. So the fact that Lawrence Butler, who is one of the hottest hitters on planet Earth and has been leading off every single day and has been absolutely raking, is basically going undrafted or as a projection all the way down. I don't know if that's correct or not, because they have, Daz Cameron leading off, blah, blah, blah. If this was a traditional outing from a lefty that we expected like 5 or 6 innings out of or something like that, I could agree with that. At this point in time, I don't see how you take Lawrence Butler out of this lineup and you just let him go lefty to start it. And it's a huge point of leverage. What do you think?
100%. 1000%. Like the biggest point of leverage right now is Lawrence Butler. Just that's what makes these no ADP slates pretty fun, is you can take advantage of stuff like that. And on a 3-game slate, like who, pardon my French, who gives a fuck if you have to swap on a 3-game slate? Right. Who the fuck cares? Lawrence Butler is like you said, no exaggeration, like the hottest hitter in baseball right now. And if you don't care, if you don't like riding hot streaks or whatever, totally fine. I'm not going to shame you for not liking to have fun. But the thing is Lawrence Butler is also like a good like he's not a nobody, right? This isn't like a Miguel. No offense to Miguel Andujar. This isn't a Miguel Andujar hot streak, right? This is a guy that actually is a prospect that people were excited about. I'm with you, man. I don't know how they can take Lawrence Butler out of the lineup when, I don't know, a little bit of speculation, purely speculation. But I think the A's are under so much scrutiny right now that I don't know. Like, I don't know that they're going to take Lawrence Butler out. And then I also don't know like what kind of moves they're going to make at the deadline. I think they're going to probably be pretty tough to pry away some of these stars from them. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, the conventional wisdom across all of baseball is that like they have to be sellers. They'll be sellers at the deadline.
Yeah.
Look to get rid of Brent Rooker. Get rid of Shea Langoliers, like these kind of guys. But like Rooker's still got some control. Mason Miller still got a lot of control. There's no reason that they have to part ways with these guys. This isn't the NBA. This isn't like expiring contracts. This isn't whatever. If you're gonna go and move this team and go into Sacramento next year and whatever, don't you want a little bit of firepower that people come out to watch?
Yeah, I think that they are kind of feeling the heat of the public opinion on them right now, and I honestly would not be surprised if we don't see the moves that people expect. And I think you can kind of use that thought process to say like they're playing Lawrence Butler today, and you know what, he might even lead off. Maybe he doesn't, but he's gonna be in the lineup.
I tend to agree. Like I think under traditional circumstances, if the Athletics weren't going so hot and Lawrence Butler wasn't going so hot, I do think you see the righty heavy lineup that is projected right here on Roto Grinders, right? Under the circumstances of everything we just talked about and putting on our ball knowers cap and then seeing the fact that like Rosenberg is also not a traditional lefty in terms of like how stretched out he is, that sort of thing. It's just like you let him go and then you just hope Lawrence Butler only faces the lefty one time. And then that becomes like your back end leverage. And the reason we keep referring to it as leverage, guys, is because at the front end of draft boards right here, like you basically get these two Oakland pieces and then like nobody else, right? And they have the highest implied team total on the slate. They're getting a park upgrade by going to LA. And then like, JJ Bleday is projected, a little bit higher here too. Like he's on an absolute doubles hot streak right now. But like, man, you can get Langoliers that's underneath here, who's probably going to be in the lineup no matter what because he's right-handed. And then all of a sudden you go all the way down here and you get Lawrence Butler for free, whatever. I mean, they could run out a lot of different lineups. And if they do run out the lineup in which we're seeing that we were just previously looking at, like you're just going to end up swapping, but there's going to be a ton of pinch hit risk in that lineup with other bats that are better coming off the bench because this team is starkly better against right-handed pitching because of that.
Yeah, I mean, just perfectly stated, truly.
Yeah. And the reason we harp so much on this, not only do they have the highest implied team total on the slate, it's because we've seen Oakland break multiple slates this year with home runs because the way in which they break slates is big time power and heavy run totals. They're one of only two teams this year to score 20 runs. They've scored more than 15 runs 6 times. I want to say four to 6 times, like something like that.
I think
it's the highest. It's the highest in all of baseball that they've scored more than 18. Yeah, more than 18 was 3.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like you don't think of them as being a team that can like go nuke like that, but we've said it multiple times. Yeah, 3 games scoring 18 or more runs. The only other team that's done it is the Rockies once. Which was
yesterday. Yeah, which was yesterday. Yeah. Okay, cool. The other stuff on the slate here, Nez, is you got all the leverage in the world by going against these pitchers because these pitchers on a normal slate for us would only be owned at a like a 16% clip and sometimes even lower than that when people are scrolling and stuff. On this slate, all these pitchers are going to be 33% owned. You could do something crazy like do a Mason Miller if you don't want the negative leverage associated with Rosenberg if you're doing like an Oakland thing. But the problem is if Oakland's bats go off, Mason Miller's not getting in the ball game. So there's no leverage in doing that. You're just accepting a 0, right? So if you wanted to do something like Galbrain and funky like that and try and get like 3 points from Mason Miller or try and scrape out a win from like a holds guy, something like that, you're going to have to do it with an onslaught of like the Mets or something. And you can just do that with Luis Severino. So there's no point in doing so, basically.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Crazier shit has happened than taking a starting pitcher against a team that you're stacking. It's just the way that the slate is laid out today. It is what it is. And, there's going to be a lot of people with negative leverage. And there's going to be a lot of like sharp players that have that same negative leverage. It is what it is. It's a crazy slate, man. It's a really crazy slate. I'm just going to try to cover my bases and try to get the combos that I want. It's 100 max. It's 100 max on a 3-game slate. Can do a lot with that.
Yeah. Braves, no, you will not get swapped off of Mason Miller.
Nope.
Yeah, here you go. There's the actual answer from inside the house. No, any Oakland pitcher taken will stand because Ross Stripling isn't there. So it's a very rare instance in which we've experienced in the past. Sorry, I should have laid that out slightly better. That when you don't have a starter and you don't have a green check mark adjacent to one of the teams, you can then select a reliever from said team. That being said, yeah, probably not an optimal strategy because we're not crazy impacted by negative runs being scored against you as long as there's a little bit of K upside. So you can actually stack Oakland, pretty heavy and then take Rosenberg. And even if Rosenberg goes 4 innings and gives up 4 runs, all he needs is one strikeout in that instance to mitigate that, right? Because you get 1 point per every inning that he pitches, and you only get minus 1 point for the runs. So you're not going to necessarily, like, you're kind of giving yourself a path where you like won't score negative. The only time in which you'll score negative is like he goes 1 inning, doesn't strike anybody out, and gives up 8 runs or something, like some outlier scenario like that, which range outcomes, but yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Nez, we got, let's go game by game here. We got Chris Sale. We're kind of all in agreement on the order of pitchers there. Just talk about Braves lineups and Mets lineups here. Mets are pretty hot right now, Lindor in particular, and he's buried in terms of the rankings. I will remind everybody that Lindor is a lefty killer. He was second in all of baseball last year in home runs versus left-handed pitching, and has continued that this year here. Though Sale is a very good pitcher with some very high strikeout rates, he can get hit every now and then, and that's how you introduce a little bit of leverage on a slate like this. One of my favorite contrarian paths to leverage would be starting from the 1-0-1 with Chris Sale, building out a 2 and a 2, and then taking a 1 solo homer against him. As just an interesting game theory building block idea.
Yeah, no, I like that thought a lot, and I will probably be doing that here and there. I love my boy Mark Vientos, so he might be my pick your poison here as far as righties or Nimmo. Nimmo's on.
He homered yesterday too, right?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Yeah. And he had a homer and a walk, or a homer and a something.
Nice. Well, yeah, regardless, it is Sale 101 for me, but when I don't get Sale, I love taking the Mets against right-handed or left-handed pitching. So big day for all these Mets righties. Like you said, I'm going to have a lot of Mets if I don't get Sale, and I probably won't have a lot of Braves. I'm thinking this game being at New York, I know it also has the same negative effect on the Mets, but I kind of have to draw the line somewhere, and I think drawing it on like Ozuna being like so high up in the projections, and just this lineup being so watered down, I think my play is just going to be like not a full fade of Braves, but a pretty strong fade on Braves, and looking toward Mets for the double bubble leverage, and then the high total in Oakland and LA.
Cool. Yeah. Probably not exactly what I'll do. I'll probably use Mets as one-offs, just as like isolated power, because I think Lindor, I think Alonso and Vientos stand out, even Francisco Alvarez to a lesser extent. And we know Harrison Bader, lefty killer too. If you want to get like real sneaky with just like a one-off like that, outlying possibility that they sit Nimmo and he hits second today. But very, very extreme outlier scenario. But just something like these are the kind of gal brain shit we got to think through on a slate of this magnitude. I'll ask you the Braves side there. This Braves lineup actually getting a little bit better just because they'll be getting Austin Riley back from paternity. He's got a Q tag on him, but if you expand the note, he's expected back today and was activated from paternity list. Nacho Alvarez, who's like their second best prospect internally or something like that, should have had his first big league hit 2 nights ago. He hammered a ball, but it was a really nice play by shortstop on the opposing team. I can't remember who it was at this point in time. But yeah, Nacho in the player pool could be a little sneaky there because he's not kind of just a name. He's actually a good baseball player. Yeah, so I kind of agree with you, like macro, that I will just be plucking one-offs from this, or I'll be plucking one-off isolated pops from this, and my game stacks will come from the other environment. But if you want to go contrarian stacking Mets or Braves for the leverage, I mean, I can't fault anybody.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a small slate, dude, that like it's kind of hard to really like break this down and really kind of pinpoint. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like because if you're gonna max enter this slate and you're gonna whatever, you're just gonna be, you're gonna have some weird ass stacks of like Tyrone Taylor and Harrison Bader as like your backstack outfielders, and they both hit lefties.
You definitely should. You definitely should, because with 3 people in a lobby, you're gonna see that at the top. It's gonna be tilting, but like, don't say we didn't warn you.
Yeah. And the evergreen reminder, if you chase ownership at the top of the board on a small one like this, like we're dealing with like a 3,000 person, like 3,000 lineup entry field right now. Like someone is going to have Ozuna plus Rooker plus Sale because someone got auto draft crazy in their lobby. Like that shit's just going to exist. So if you chase that high ownership, even though they're the quote unquote best projectable plays on the slate, if you just chase that over and over again, like you're not introducing any path to first place because probably someone's probably going to own it better. So I that's why we kind of like dove right in here and harped on like instant ways to get like a little bit unique and yeah. Let's talk about the other game environment, more so just about like the lineups and stuff in general. Rendon's back, Drury's back, neither really mattering thus far, but does kind of strengthen that Angels lineup like ever so slightly. We kind of talked at length about the Athletics and how we don't see how you can take Lawrence Butler out of this lineup right now, but if they do, it will probably look something like this. But I will take Butler and then swap to Cameron, opposed to taking Cameron and then swapping to Butler, because I think there's a non-zero chance that both of them could find their way into this lineup on a Thursday. And I don't want to be the guy who has Cameron over and over again hitting seventh when all of a sudden you get Butler leading off, right?
Yeah, really well said. You can also, if you want to be cheeky, I think what you can do is take a ton of Blade and swap based on the lineup, because I think that this is going to be different than we expect, and I don't think Blade is going to be in the lineup. So swap, like just setting your swap rankings, knowing that you're doing that to your favorite A, and once this lineup gets released, I think is pretty sharp by my estimation.
Not bad. Yeah, something I hadn't fully thought about there. That's pretty sharp, dude.
We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, you get your choice of it. Because I mean, like, it's weird. All these short slate Thursday days, like granted, this is a start of a new series. Those games don't tend to be as crazy or weird as the other ones. But like for the morning slate here, I played 0% Will Smith because I was like, there's no chance he's in this lineup.
Right.
And he didn't come out in this lineup. And I played no Adley Rutschman because there was a 0% chance he was going to be in this lineup. Day game after night game catchers or whatever, right? So it's just like Jordan Westberg for me was a play that nobody was touching, that was really buried, that once you update the projections and you put him in that 2-hole, he is going to be like, I don't know, maybe the 8th best play on the slate, something like that. So I was just clicking Westberg over and over again. And that's why we're talking through this one at nauseum here. Nez, I would ask you, like, just, macro view, favorite 2-man, favorite 3-man, favorite isolated hitter on the slates. If you want a second to think about it, I can go first.
Yeah. Let's hear what you got.
I would say Brent Rooker and Shea Langeliers is my favorite 2-man stack on the slate, period. I would say Luis Rengifo is my favorite bat on the slate that isn't part of a stack.
Ooh, okay.
Like, and I'm talking, this is all like in the construct of the slate, ADP adjusted, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's my thought process.
Yeah. I think my favorite, it's going to be hard to not say, Rooker and Shea for my favorite 2-man stack. That's definitely what I'm going to be trying to do the most, is Rooker and Shea. But I don't want to lose sight of these Angels, man. These Angels go against Ross Stripling and just him not being very good. I think Ward and O'Hoppe is going to be one of my favorites as well. And I would think for my favorite one-off, I think I'm going to say Lindor for sure.
Yeah, I like that shout, man. Lindor being like lefty killer, Lindor being screeching hot right now, like screaming hot right now, like scorching hot. I fucking, butchered that 3 times. Unbelievable. For a man who has a way with words, he couldn't find any of them right there. I want to check right now. I want to ask you a question, but I just want to confirm that I was correct on this answer. Okay, yes, I am. Okay. Who leads the Angels in home runs right now?
Is it Mike Trout?
No, it's not still Mike Trout. That would be epic, though. He is 5th. He is 5th on the team still, and he only played 29 games.
Is it Adele?
It's Joe Adele. You're looking for a little sneaky pop, a little outfielder seems to be shallower in quotations than infielder on this slate. I don't know. Why don't we just take a shot on a little bit of power from Joe Adele down there? Granted, it's only one more home run than Logan O'Hoppe and Taylor Ward have, and he hits under 200 comparatively to the 276 of Logan O'Hoppe. But if you're looking for a little cheap, isolated contrarian power on this slate from the best hitting environment, from an implied team total that is higher than the other game environment, how about a little one-off Joe Adele?
Can do worse. You can do worse. This is going to be a very fun game, I hope.
Oh man. I sure hope so too. Because the other options of like trying to stack against Sale are not overly fun.
Oh yeah, not in the slightest.
Yeah. Zach Neto actually sneaky up there as well. He is behind Ward in them, but he has 13 home runs. I mean, like he's within shouting distance, which isn't a guy that we attribute much power to, you know?
Who's that? Neto?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. I'm still waiting on Shanwell's power breakout. Like you can't just like be up there looking like White Ohtani and not hit a million home runs. At some point, it's got to happen. Like he literally just like looked at Ohtani,
Loney, man,
and was like, "Let me like if it's good enough for Ohtani, it's good enough for me." And it just amounts to nothing.
Yeah, that left-handed swing profile you're referring to and stance. Yeah, pretty good stuff there. Oh, here we go. Our guy Nick is going to the Mets game tomorrow, so adjust our ranks in hindsight for that one tomorrow. Love to see that. Our guy Tyler dropping through with the inappropriate comments of always there. Whose third arm is biggest and strongest amongst the scroll the F down candidates? That would be Joe Adele. Joe Adele, no locker room narrative alongside him for me in the past, but I'm guessing it's Joe Adele there. Chipsy dropping us some Eagles meta here that John Ross saw first team reps. Oh, baby. Nez was already victory lapping his Paris Campbell takes the other day. So
what team does he even play for? Do you even know?
The Eagles. That's why I brought up the Paris Campbell. He's on that Eagles roster.
Oh, boy.
You want to replace Quez Watkins and Olamide Zacchaeus, or I don't know how to even say his name. Yeah, that's how you do it. John Ross, the burner, baby. Our guy Tyler jumping in here, gifting out another membership. Thank you so much. Whoever got that one, make sure you flex that badge in the chat and share it up there. Yeah, your beard today, Nez. Tell everybody what's up here. Everyone's saying who's the new co-host here. This is Babyface Killer, the new assassin look from Nez.
Well, as you know, most people know the trade deadline is coming up, and the Yankees are looking for a new first baseman. And they heard I'm a stick. They heard I can pick it. Agent called me. He said, if you don't have a razor, buy one. And next thing you know, I'm clean shaven, and here we are. I just wanted to, it's been a long time, as you guys all know, since I've done a clean shave, and I wanted to start fresh because I'm starting to see the beard kind of connect a little bit. Watch out. Watch out. It's coming. So I wanted to give it a clean slate to really allow it to refill itself. I'm excited to see the results.
All right, man. Well, speaking of clean slate here, we roll ourselves 1-0-1 on this slate. This is going to be Chris Sale for both of us?
Yeah. I'm not sure how you can do anything else other than Chris Sale.
All right. Yeah. I mean, like, just the strikeout floor alone seems pretty nice. I do think Severino and Sale are kind of like closer than like their rankings currently indicate. That hence the behind closed doors where we were talking about ranking them side by side kind of thing, just from like a macro theory perspective there. But yeah, I just if this slate plays out the way in which we envision, it's going to be Sale, and then it's going to be some combination of stacks from the other game environment, and then it's going to be who's the one-off guy who homers from this game or whatever that is the slate breaker, right?
Yeah, and wouldn't it be funny if it's like Chris Sale, 10 Ks, 6 innings, one earned run. One of those earned runs is a home run to, you know, one of these Mets. Then Sale's out the game, and then that same Met hits another home run, and it's like Chris Sale laps the field, and you also need to have that 2 home run guy
Right.
for the Mets.
Right. And that's range outcomes on a slate like this, right? And that's why we have to talk through everything and why, just setting yourself up for like perfect stacks over and over again isn't always necessarily the answer. This is kind of how most rooms have been going here. Nez, can I interest you in a Luis Rengifo and a Shea Langeliers?
Yeah, let's do it. And you could say really any warm body, and I would I would co-sign.
Okay. Well, why don't we do Rengifo? I love him in general today. And then do you want to do Ward, Shea, the aforementioned Lawrence Butler? We could probably wait on him. Lindor, who you liked as a one-off with negative like contrarian.
Yeah, do Ward.
Okay. Do a little skinny stack from that one.
Yeah, we'll get a little chalky to start.
Yeah, their ownership's going to be tethered together in a big way there. Rengifo just came off the IL there and really gives a boost to the top of that lineup. Right now, we're kind of seeing what happens when you have a recreational player in the middle of two crazies. You just try and push this Severino. Wow. So Seed is auto drafting. Here's one of the pitfalls of auto drafting where you have your ranks like this is you take a pitcher here for no reason when you could have had your choice of hitter there. Lindor goes there, Nez. So Shea and Butler interest you?
Yeah, you just want to.
Who else you want?
No, let's just ape into this run environment. Let's not force Matt Olson just because it's there.
I mean, we could do a one-off there and then just hope Butler comes back.
No, let's do Butler. Let's just pretend like he was picked and do what we were kind of set out to do. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think it might just be a flaw to just like the shiny player dangled in front of your face because you didn't expect him to be there, and you have a nice, well constructed plan that makes sense, and to kind of deviate from it. Is it smart? I don't know. Maybe if Wilson comes back, which he is going to, not like once again. Now I'm like asking myself.
Yeah. So here, I would not take Olson. I would not play into the ownership. I would not play into the fact that he goes off the board all the time, that he will be routinely paired with Sale. I will also point out the fact that Ward and Rengifo will be commonly paired together. So I would introduce a little bit of contrarian leverage here off ourselves, and I would take a one-off Pete Alonso to be like Chris Sale's the guy you need, and then Pete Alonso is the isolated home run, the only Met you need, and people won't stack Mets against Sale, but you can do one-off.
Yeah, that works.
Let's do it. That's how the hand builders do it right there. Let's rip one more of those, Nez, because they are really fun. I'm a big proponent of these 3-person drafts. They introduce scrolling the F down in a big way, especially in baseball, because you have 18 viable players on each game to choose from.
Yeah, I know it's 2 games, but it kind of reminds me of the when Underdog used to do the single game contest for the World Series, and it was 3-person drafts, or I think it was 3-person drafts, or 4. But I would kind of do something that I think you could do here. I would literally track every single draft to make sure I didn't dupe myself, and would have one scroll down piece of leverage. The one slate when it was Astros and I think Phillies. I think it was Astros Phillies. That was a World Series, right?
Yep.
Ago.
Yep.
Yuli Gurriel was like not being taken, and he was like hitting really well for them. I made him like strong point of leverage. Nice little scroll down. That was fun, but
Yeah, I think
like this. I wish they would bring those back because I mean, like, yeah, there's like a meta, but like they're still pretty fun.
Yeah, the single game for baseball
Just
is
for the World Series.
probably the only sport that it can live.
The only one. The only one.
Yeah, people get mad about like the GM of like Harper plus Schwarber and oh yeah, that's all. Oh, of course that's all you needed, and so I think that's why Underdog is just kind of like done away with single contests in
for
general.
Sure. I get it.
As we kind of have the common start here, we have T. Spence in the middle, which looks like a familiar name for whatever reason, but also looks like a recreational player without a badge here. Let's try and set up this Oakland thing and kind of like I want to do this just because I want to show the community and show on stream the principles in which we just discussed to build. I want to follow through on trying to build.
So if you miss on our boy Severino, you're going with you're going with the dude from the Angels here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to, but
yeah. The only other alternative, and I will bring it up right now. What happened?
Check the screen. Pull it up. Happy day.
There you go. There you go. And this is how you obtain the GMs, my friends, where you dare the room. You dare the room, man.
So now you got to take Severino next pick, right?
Absolutely not, Nez. Now the question is, do we think Oakland contrarian onslaught is the best way to play this with Severino because it'll be low owned? So we take Shea here, and we take whomever else we think is going to hit high in the lineup. I think it'll be
Toro.
I think it'll be Geloff. I like Zach better.
Ooh, okay.
So I would do this. You could twist my arm into doing like Mets with it and doing like Lindor as like a one-off because you think he's a better play anyways. So we could do like Lindor here, provided, yeah. So we could do Lindor if you want to. But what do you like to do? Would you do full Oakland or would you do Lindor?
No, I think I'd go full Oakland. This is kind of it's kind of fun.
Okay. Let's do the Zach Geloff then because I kind of like him better than Toro in a vacuum. Yeah, that's just an isolated player take, and
sure.
Yeah.
Got 94 more drafts to get Toro if you want to.
Exactly. Yeah, so then the next play here is, does Lawrence Butler play today? Does JJ Bleday play today? Is that who you tack on? And it might be taken away from us because Jump Free could easily double tap like Oakland outfielders right now, but it looks like he is doing something of the Angels variety. It looks like the middle guy is doing Angels in Atlanta as well. So as they fight over those pieces, we just scoop a little bit of quote unquote value on the end here. Yeah.
Yeah, this is nice, man. This is really nice.
So now the question is, Nez, does ownership matter to you here? Or is it unique enough by the fact that we're taking Butler, who's buried, and he may or may not play, and the fact that we didn't take Toro in this? Does it matter to you, or would you like take a one-off Ward, one-off Lindor?
No, and like especially because like let's say like if you're not mad, like I don't care, and no matter how you're constructing the portfolio, whether you are doing 100, doing just a handful. When you get an Oakland onslaught on a 2-game slate, just do it. Just ape in, take the onslaught, and if you split with 5 of your best friends, it was the best play. It is what it is. I wouldn't overthink that personally. Okay. On today, it's like doing like just complete the bet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I love that we did exactly what we laid out at the beginning of the show in a room. When you get a recreational player between two guys that are going to stay in their lane and they make a quote unquote projection mistake, you capitalize on it. And then the other one was when you get the 1-0-1 and you get a recreational player in the middle, you take Sale, you see what falls to you, and then you take, okay, we got a pretty chalky team with a 2-2. Well, this is going to become a 2-2-1 with the one isolated one off of that. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that was really well done.
Old John Boy every now and then shocks the world, Nez. He does shock the world. And speaking of shock the world, GA suggesting we got in a draft early today. Unheard of, man. Jump free, you're welcome, fellas. That's funny. Um, yeah, Nez, you're getting lots of love for the shave and the haircut here. Everybody's digging the Lou Dog's in you,
I
digging the
didn't even get a
dreadlocks.
haircut. I just shave and didn't wear a hat, and it's like I'm a brand new person.
Numi asking for a little feedback on the newest contests for tomorrow. Admittedly, Numi, haven't looked at it in detail, so don't really want to give you like an on the record, like immediate feedback here. But like, it looks like there's 2 iterations of the main slate here. One with a $9 price point and one with a $3. Oh no, that's Frozen Rope. Sorry, where am I looking here? See, this is why we weren't going to do this. There's an early slate, there's the same mid slate, and then there's an evening slate. Okay, so it's all 3 in isolation. The early slate, I imagine these are the 3:45 games. Yeah, so 3:40 it ends at for my time there. And then the main slate will cap at like 6 o'clock, and then there's the West Coast games.
Yeah, so the
Cool.
late games are not included on the main slate, which is Oakland at LA, Pirates at D-backs, and Rockies at Giants. So nothing like too crazy getting
Yeah.
chopped up there. Just a nice clean sweat.
Mhm.
Starting at 7 Eastern, and the last game is at 8 Eastern. So that's fun.
Yeah,
I
that is fun.
The way that those games are laid out tomorrow made a lot of sense to do that 9-game main slate. I don't know who's pitching tomorrow, but yeah, no, this is a lot of fun, man. And thanks to the multi-ender tool, like I keep talking about, it's going to be a lot easier for me to play all of these slates. When before I just like don't play the late slate because I spend a lot of time drafting, and I have a
Mhm.
life that needs
Yeah.
attention, and I need to maintain a marriage and be a
Yeah.
good partner. So I can't always be out here drafting 24/7. Unfortunately, even though it seems like I am, which I'm always on the clock thanks to the slows. But yeah, this is cool, man. I'm gonna check out tomorrow's starters and see what we got going on.
Yeah, it sets up nicely too because you're not cutting off like Dodgers, you're not cutting off like one of these high profile like Astros, Dodgers, whatever. So I imagine the bats in the middle slate stay pretty good. And then this is a pretty balanced early one too, regardless of SPs, because you got that Philly team, but then you get it counterbalanced by like some Jose Ramirez and some Ellie star power in the other games. Riley Green, who we have to check in on. Yeah, this looks like a really fun way to do it. And I'm a big proponent of the new payout structure for the main here with the 4K first. I think 4K is enough to draw people's attention just to play a couple entries. The 6K with the 20% to first was bleeding a couple bankrolls dry. IMO. Nez, what do you say we just hop in Best Ball Mania 5 and rip?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. Lots of camp news coming down the pipeline here, as Chipsy alluded to. Big John Ross day there. Kyron Williams getting some bullish news there. We got 5 more spots in here with us.
John Ross's 2018 was so insane. Do you remember his stat line that year?
No, God no. How what was it? Like Huskies last year, or was that first year NFL?
No, that was second year NFL.
Nah, I have no idea. No idea.
So he played 10. He played 13 games. Games started. He started 10 games. 21 receptions.
Yep.
7 touchdowns.
That's dope.
I do not
That is
remember.
so dope.
I kind of do, but I don't really remember that insane, efficient. Like, it was 16 yards per game, 7 touchdowns. I need to like look back on each of these touchdowns. What the hell? That's crazy.
That is crazy. Wow. John Ross, ladies and gentlemen. We got ourselves a friend and family here. We got B Smurf in here. We got Best Ball Viper. We got AMAC, the champ from the Albatross streets in here. So yeah, we got Pepper Tony hanging out. Guys, do what AP's all about right here. AP coming in here and appreciates the stream a lot. He's new around here. Say what up if you're new. Say what up if you're new. Drop on by. Consider a membership. Drop a thumb. We come out here every single day, 2 p.m. Eastern. Rip anything on the platform. Nez, CMC, or the cover boy, aka the holdout boy, CD Lamb.
Nah, it's CMC, baby.
Let's do it. CD Lamb, as we've kind of expressed in the past year, and as everybody else is expressing in the Twitterverse and stuff, he really feels like you only get exposure to him if you roll the 102.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think I'm going to overthink CMC again. I can respect the constructural arguments.
Yep.
I'm not fading Christian McCaffrey or these other running backs, man. I mean, I can get the wide receivers later. I promise you can make it work. It's not it's not impossible.
Yeah, and I do think with the holdout news and as the BBM window pushes a little bit, the longer it lingers, we might see a little bit of CD Lamb fallage. So if you want to backdate a couple drafts and you get a bearish news on CD Lamb, like let's just say we get a bearish news on CD Lamb tomorrow, right? And they're miles apart and blah blah blah. Load up 5 fucking drafts. Hope you roll 102 through 105 and take him every single time. And there's your CD Lamb exposure. There's your 8 to 12%. You got it right back right away.
Easy
fucking game. You just got to think about the macro here. Our guy Wu-Tang Killer Bees, aka Matt, one of the goats around here, drops by, gifts out 5 Badge Bros membership, and he goes, "Show yourself, lurkers, the ones who are not jamming in the chat. Now you have to say thank you to our guy, Matt. Jump out here, say thank you. Matt, truly one of the good guys in this space, in this community."
Yeah, shout out Matt, man. Just the absolute GOAT. Always appreciate him hanging out with us when he has the chance to, and really appreciate him giving out those memberships, man. That is a very nice move. John, I sent you a DM. I guess I can just read these out. Who got the memberships? Mr. Pittsburgh, I've been seeing you in here, man. I did not know you were Jay Snod. Glad to put a face to a badge there. Mark Wise, Dave Gladstone. I see you, Dave. Mem for life, Jay. Now you're a mem for a month at least. And then best ball moderate. So hey, he's not a crazy. He's not far left or far right. He's a moderate of best ball. So
I've definitely seen best ball moderate participate in the chat too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, definitely. And Eli's Perilla?
What's up?
Eli is Perilla? Question mark, Eli? Or are you just pointing out the start?
I think cool. That's him.
Yeah, no, because Perilla's in a lot of drafts with us, and I know watcher of the show, and I know Eli's a watcher of the show, but I didn't know the overlap. So thank you for pointing that out if that is in fact the case, bro.
Yeah, after we make our pick here, I wanted to talk about Run Good Rick asking in the chat if we've messed around with Best Ball Explorer yet. We haven't talked about this yet. John, have you played on there?
I have not. I saw Crutch's tweet of his exposure the other day there, but I have not personally played around with it yet.
It's very cool.
Okay.
It's very cool. Hayden Winks also putting out a tweet, giving some shouts out to it. It's a free tool. Yeah, we can talk about it in a second here. I gave it my data. I uploaded my data to it. It has my data. I'm not concerned about the site owner having my data, but it's there, and I wanted to kind of show a cool visualization that's on there.
We get a Saquon fall to the end here. If we want to do something crazy, Nez, we could take all 3 running backs and shut it the F down. We could also do Neighbors. What do you like?
I want to do Saquon.
Okay, you want to do Saquon with the fall here?
Yeah.
Dare we dare the room as Piss Boys here? Do you like Achan, Kyron, Cup, Neighbors? Who do you like?
I like Neighbors.
Let's do it.
But if you want to do Achan, we can fuck around and find out in a hurry.
Yeah, I'm noticing in the room here that some others are fucking around to find out here. We got 2 double RB starts going down here. I will do a little hat tip to our guy, Best Ball Viper, as well. Gifted another membership. That's 8 gifts on the day. Community is booming, as Numi's suggesting here. Christopher being the recipient of that one. Love it. Thank you, Best Ball Viper. Thank you, Christopher. Very interesting starts here. We see the all week 17 stack here by pushing up Jalen Hurts with Devonta Smith with CeeDee Lamb here from the 3-hole. We see the 2RB, 2RB, and we did a 2RB start. This is a fun room thus far. Fun room.
Yeah, I really like that CD Devontae Hurts start. I think that's really fun. And like, there's nothing wrong with kind of going on a week 17 matchup with those three. I mean, they could very well power you through the regular season and give you a hell of a shootout in week 17 for sure.
Love it. Wow, triple RB start from Best Ball Viper, and now I think he's going to shut it down. I think he's taken the path of least resistance in this one here, man. This is crazy.
Yeah, I think so. Can I show my my pick tendencies from Best Ball Explorer?
Yeah, let me hit 2 things and then we'll do it right then. I want to hit on a little bit of another shout out from Charles getting a membership here. Welcome to the community. I wanted to hit on this with the Hertz one. Is like Hertz often comes back to that side of the board, so doing that there, good, neither bad. And then I want to address Greg's question rather. That a lot of people have asked about is the Underdog Rakeback program. There are 2 iterations of that. There are the Gladiator program from the daily draft streets. If you hit certain benchmarks and thresholds, you will get X percentage of money back in form of bonus cash that comes back almost every single Wednesday to you. Like Wednesday, like 5 p.m. Eastern, something like that. And then the other one for Best Ball is over the course of the entire summer, basically from April 29th, to September, whatever, the first day of kickoff on the Thursday nighter there. If you do, again, benchmarks, like I think it was like 100 drafts, 200 drafts, 500 drafts, 1,000 drafts, we can bring up the actual graphic in a second here. You will then hit different points of rakeback, and then you will receive that in a lump sum after the season starts after that date. Did I do it justice, Nez?
Yeah. 1,000 drafts gets you 50% of your rake back. 500 drafts gets you, I think, 25% of your rake back. And it's not your entry fees, it's the rake that you pay on those entry fees. So to put it simply, if you're playing a $100 contest and the rake is 10%, that is $10 going towards rake. You would get 5 of those $5 back. So it's essentially paying $95 instead. All right.
Nez, I say we just fucking do it.
Oh my God.
Let's do it. Let's see if we can land this plane with a Lamar Andrews stack here.
All right. Let's see how it goes.
I mean, you could do Mahomes Rice too.
Let's do Andrews and Lamar.
Okay. Let's see if we can land this plane. 2 running backs, a quarterback, and a tight end in our first 5 picks.
We're pushing it. We are pushing it. Yeah, and I want to say too, Nick asking if double dribble drafts are included. They are. Mm-hmm. The cutoff is 9.5. So one thing we might need to get clarity from with Numi is if you register for a slow draft that does not finish by September 5th, does that count toward the rake back? I think that would be I would
venture to guess yes. I would venture to guess it's registration date, not closing date of drafts.
I would think so as well. So yeah, we'll have to see on that. But yeah, super awesome program, and you can join me on the quest to 1K. There might be dozens of us. I'm excited to see who is in that ring of honor at the end of this.
Any draft you enter before 9.5. There you go.
Perfect.
So if you know you're a couple short, hop in a couple slow double dribbles, pay those entry fees, and then you'll be good. All right, Nez, we got a couple picks here in the middle. You want to share your Best Ball Explorer. This is your pick tendency by round visualization. It looks to me like you are a bit of a piss boy fraud.
Piss boy fraud? What do you mean?
I guess, yeah, 25%, 28% running back in the first round. That's going to be higher than most people, right?
Yeah, but I've never once declared myself a piss boy.
That's why I'm saying you're a fraud.
Because I piss sometimes.
Yeah, because you have too many wide receivers right here. I thought it would just be Bijan and be Green to 60%.
This is 30% and like 25% is of it is Bijan. I'll go more in depth tomorrow on Friday
Okay.
and kind of look through these other tools. But this is my favorite viz that is included on here is the pick tendencies. So it's a really cool graphic. At first, I was like way overthinking it because I'm like, whoa, like look at 100% here and look at the blue. Does this mean like I'm always taking a tight end? And no, it's by surface area, you dumb fuck. And the highlighting also helps as well. You get to see the exposures. So you can see at round 8, I take a running back half of the time. And I'm just like, I'm doing a lot of running backs back here and getting like, it makes sense, man. By round 7 or 8, I am mostly going wide receiver there. I mean,
Okay.
unless I get Bijan. And you can see I'm also going elite quarterback quite a bit as well. Like 25% of the time, I'm taking a quarterback there. And then I'm hitting my second here, and then maybe I'm taking my third in the round 17 as well. So this is just like a really cool tool to kind of see your draft tendencies, and it's fun to compare with you know with everybody else that gets on here and looks at their stuff. So yeah, I'll get into more detail tomorrow. I will save that behind the paywall to really go in depth on this. But yeah, this is just super cool and it's free. And yeah, it's
you
yeah.
you kind of alluded to it on your own merit there, but I just want to address like the aren't you worried notion of like, someone housing all this data or whatever. Like all this stuff is publicly available as soon as BBM locks anyways. So like I'm not overly concerned that someone would be picking through what each isolated player or team is doing with exposures. Like I don't think it gives you like a big enough piece of leverage to know what like whoever inputs their data is doing comparatively, because most people that are gravitate to putting their data in here are going to be sick in the head and doing 700 900 whatever drafts, kind of like you've uploaded 600 there. But yeah, I don't know, like do you feel similarly?
Yeah, I think it's totally fine, especially with best ball because of like how random the game of best ball is. Like, there's not really a whole lot you can do by knowing like who I like or who like Karain likes, or by other people liking like and who they draft and how they draft. Every season's different. We have no idea what these results are going to bear out to be. I think it's just an important note, just in general, when with tools like this, and like I trust the site. I literally have my data. I uploaded my data. It's just
Mhm.
important to like think about that before you actually give someone your data. Like, think about what you're giving them, and just be smart. That's all.
Nez, we are up here. We got 10 seconds to make our first decision. I would vote Jackson Smith and Jigba as one of these picks, and I would probably vote Brian Thomas the other.
Yeah, I'm cool with both those. We obviously like need wide receiver here.
Yeah. I feel it's like shoot the moon here because we spent so much capital at the top end there. And for whatever reason, my mind thinks Brian Thomas is a more shoot the moony pick than Lad McConkey, whether I'm right or wrong on that. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe Lad gives us that Herbert backstack too. Which one do you prefer?
I think I prefer Brian Thomas,
Okay.
just from like a prospect standpoint. But there's definitely, I would probably say more often than not, but not by a strong margin, that Lad gets more volume than Brian Thomas. But I like the situation better for Brian Thomas, and I think Brian Thomas is a better prospect.
Okay. Yeah, and the fact that you've alluded to multiple times on here that the Jags could be, the dark horse to lead the league in touchdowns and that sort of thing, like just aping into that notion that they're going to throw more, play faster, blah blah blah. Like even if Lad is their de facto WR1 from day one forward, I mean they have good offensive line play and they have a coordinator and a coach who are prone to establishing it in the Chargers. So like what is Lad's true outlier ceiling anyways?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
We literally to make this roster work, we need 3 of these wide receivers that we take to return second or third round value. Could Lad meet value and return like, 5th through 4th? Yeah, absolutely. Do I think I don't think there's as clean a path for Lad to be a first round pick next year than say Jackson Smith and Jigba or Brian Thomas be a back end first round pick next year.
Yeah. I would agree. Especially because T. Higgins is a Charger next year. So.
Oh, wow. The
People
poor
forget.
man's Mike Williams coming to the Chargers to make them better on paper.
Yeah. John, I think I have a new hot take.
Okay. I'm ready for it.
It's hot. It's spicy. Okay. There's somebody gaining a lot of steam right now in drafts, and maybe not anymore, but the last 2 weeks, other than Estime in the 18th, because I don't think Estime qualifies as what I'm about to say, the best pick on the board.
Okay.
Curtis Samuel.
Just flat out, everything.
Cost adjusted. Yeah. Curtis Samuel is the best pick on the board right now for various reasons. One, he represents the end of that tier. You saw in the Best Ball Explorer how quickly I stopped drafting wide receivers. He is the end of that tier. He's now going ahead of JMO. ADP won't tell you this, but he's going to flip him in a matter of days. As far as just being that last available wide receiver, that means a lot. But also the situation in Buffalo, I think, is crystal clear that Curtis Samuel is about to be the fucking dude. Okay. We have Khalil Shakir there. If you're going to compare careers and who's had the better career so far, I think Curtis Samuel gets the bump over Shakir as far as being the better player based on what he's done in his career as a football player thus far.
Yep.
Keon Coleman has had nothing but bearish news come out about him as being a raw rookie. He was a raw prospect. They waited to take him because they knew he would be there. Nothing about Keon Coleman thus far indicates that he's going to be the dude in Buffalo, other than the fact that they drafted him and he goes ahead right now on Underdog. Mm-hmm. And then you have MVS back there as well. And whoever the hell else you want to throw, Mac Hollins as wide receiver. So as far as wide receivers go, he is by far the most talented wide receiver in Buffalo right now. The other target earner there is obviously Dalton Kincaid. I think Dalton Kincaid is a great pick right now as well, but there's talks about them running a lot of 12 this season. Dawson Knox just had a nice clip about him. And
he's getting all the money too.
Right. So Curtis Samuel, to me, the best wide receiver in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Just given the context and given Josh Allen as the quarterback, the offense is probably going to be good. I think Curtis Samuel is not only the best bill to draft. I mean, he could very well, when it's all said and done, value-wise, wow, why were we not taking, Curtis Samuel in the 6th round when he's the wide receiver 1 in the Bills and he gets 110 targets and then he also gets some carries as well. Mm-hmm. And he's the best, scrimmage yard player from the Bills, sans James Cook. I'm so in on Curtis Samuel the more I kind of look at this Bills team.
Okay, I'll add a couple more to that after we make a pick here. Redacted or Swift feel better. We could do the Palmer narrative with the discount lad. We could do the Lockett double. Where do you get your ideas? I don't love the Lockett pick, to be honest. I'd say Pollard and Palmer.
Palmer for sure. And then, could talk about this next pick because I don't think we can afford a running back.
Yeah, the problem is every wide receiver that you push up here sucks, in my opinion. But
they're not getting better.
Maybe Romeo?
Need one. I was gonna suggest Lockett, but Romeo, I like Dubs. Let's do Dubs. I don't want to override you.
We talked about it yesterday. We did it yesterday. I don't love the Jackson Smith and Jigba with Lockett.
Yeah, we already did it. Yeah.
Yeah, that combination just doesn't feel amazing to me. I guess it would have felt bad to detour from wide receiver there, but I don't know, mentally for whatever, a tier break wise, I don't see as much difference in Romeo and kind of this next grouping that we can tack on, then maybe I see the difference between Pollard, Moss, Swift, and then the next tier of running backs being Corum and Zeke. I see maybe a starker tier break in my mind. So I might have been fine just adding a third and then making it 4 running back build and then just taking darts late at wide receiver. That would kind of be my massive idea, I guess.
Yeah, it's probably fine to do that, but I'd rather just respect the construction. We already have like looked death and fate in the eye and deviated and you know, like we're testing fate by
Sure.
only drafting one wide receiver in the first 5 rounds.
Cool. Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, let's talk about the Curtis Samuel thing. Hayden agrees with you. Hayden has they did a way too early pick 'em for season long stuff, and they took the Curtis Samuel hires. He's basically eclipsed the number that exists in the lobby every single year. The reunition is that a word? Reuniting with him and Joe Brady. Joe
Reunion.
Brady reunion. There we go. But reunion didn't.
The reunition.
The reunition. Fucking idiot.
New word.
Yeah. Wow. That's the second one we made up to today. The other one was constructional or something like that when we were talking about it. Anyways, the reunion of Joe Brady with Curtis Samuel, that feels like that feels kind of important because schematically he found him both a lot of passing yards and a lot of rushing yards, even though he was alongside DJ Moore at times. And then Hayden, when he was running through the point, listed all of the quarterbacks that he's worked with. And it is uninspiring, to say the least. You know,
Yeah.
we're Taylor Heineke, Sam Howell, the corpse of Cam Newton when he was already washed, Sam Darnold. Yeah. Anyways, so yes, I do see this, and he, of everyone, like GA in the chat here, is basically saying maybe no Buffalo wide receiver separates, and they all just rotate and whatever. That the thing is, like, they have to keep one on the field for like Z or X or whatever, and he's going to be the Z guy that just like stays on the field, in my opinion. He's so good for pre-snap motion stuff. He's so good for like intermediate stuff that it feels like him and Kincaid are the most likely to stay on the field at all times. And then if you rotate an X, you could rotate Mac Hollins, you could rotate Chase Claypool at the X. Like, those feel like rotational pieces comparatively to Curtis Samuel being like that. But yeah, I guess the bear case would be like, do they go run heavy like they did at the tail end of last year? Or is this offseason enough to implement a pass heavy attack because they've had like the time off?
Yeah, I think based on the way that they played at the tail end of last year and how they used Diggs in like a very, very boring way of just like a lot of like really short intermediate stuff, like that's perfect for Curtis Samuel. So like you just replace him and he's doing everything that Diggs was doing and he costs a lot less.
We lost out on the Trevor Lawrence double. I kind of wanted to do like Gabe and Lawrence here. Judy gives us backdoor. Cooks kind of just does a faller. Feels kind of like safe points, which might be good on this team.
It's Brandon Cooks for me.
Okay, so Brandon Cooks being the first one there. And then we can kind of decide if you want to do like a shoot the moon and take Chubb here, because now we have 6 wide receivers, or if you want to not deviate again and push up like a Judy, Mike Dubb, Josh Downs getting some camp steam. What do you like?
Let's see here.
I think I like running back, and I think I like Chase Brown or Chubb.
All right, let's do Chase Brown.
Okay.
Let's recap this team thus far after this round.
Yeah, because I think you mitigate some of the advantage you've created at running back by not at least trying to win the flex with running back as well. If you just do like 2 and then you just added like 3 punts at the later end there, and you're just tacking on like quote unquote zeros, you didn't like leverage your advantage fully. Now, if Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley are RB1 and RB2 for the entirety of the season, then it doesn't fucking matter. But so the counterpoint is draft like you're right? So it's just interesting thought process there as terms to like where you allot capital now. But I think we're kind of settled on the notion this will be like 2-5-9-2. But I'll ask you after I recap 1-3-6-1 thus far. Nez, Lamar Jackson, CMC, Saquon Barkley, Chase Brown, Malik Neighbors, JSN, Brian Thomas, Joshua Palmer, Romeo Doubs, Brandon Cooks, and Mark Andrews.
We're doing a good job. I mean, this is about as good as you can do when you take the path that we took.
Yeah.
I think our second quarterback is already decided as well, so we can kind of push
Oh,
that.
interesting.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
You
Interesting.
don't take Neighbors as the anchor without knowing who your quarterback two is.
Well, here I saw a little pushback, and I don't know who it was from. I saw it either on Twitter, Discord, or whatever. So apologies for not attributing. But my mind is my brain's the size of a peanut, and I can't remember these sort of things. But someone was talking about ceiling outcome of Neighbors not necessarily being correlated with ceiling outcome of Dimes. Because what we like from Dimes as a back end guy is just the notion that he would run 700 yards, 800 yards, 5, 6 touchdowns on the ground. That ceiling outcome with that, and that doesn't play as well being anchored to WR1. I don't know if I necessarily believe that, because if he's throwing for 10 touchdowns and they're going to Neighbors, like, like, not that he only throws for 10 touchdowns, but he throws 10 touchdowns to Neighbors, like, I think you want that correlation on your roster.
Yeah, who said that?
I have no idea. I just read it when I came across the timeline.
PU. That's stinky. There's I can't imagine ever throwing out a bear case for stacking your wide receiver one with the quarterback. Don't really get that.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't a best ball take. Maybe it was just a macro, like, ceiling outcomes of total points scored. But yeah, can you hear that dog?
No, what's he doing?
It's just like a random dog that's like walking, because like I live like pretty close to like the like boardwalk by the ocean there, and he's like clearly just either like lost or like someone dropped the leash or something like that. And he's just like barking, running along the water.
What?
I don't know. I don't know. I can hear him though, but it's like kind of like faint. It's weird.
Yeah, they're talking about Hard Knocks in the chat. I don't know. You haven't seen that part yet, where he's like asking his son who he wants him to draft.
Oh, really? That's kind of a fun
and his
bit.
son's like, Jaden Daniels, like just look at him. The eye test.
That's fun. Well, I did see Jaden Daniels dropping some absolute dimes on the camp videos feed earlier today, and then I did see Danny Dimes dropping back and missing his running back by 5.5 feet over his head that was 6 feet away. So based on my camp watching tape today, that holds true, Nez.
I wonder like how rich you could get by just like fading every positive or negative clip that gets circulated by Twitter. Like it's disgusting.
Yeah. Chandler feels like a little bit of a tier break, but if we don't want to go to running back, I won't force it. Jermaine Burton's getting some camp buzz right now. I would like to put him on this roster as another shoot the moon target. What do you like?
Yeah, let's do Burton.
Okay. I am kind of like mentally leaving 2 spots on this team for double correlating our quarterbacks. I might take tight end and shut it down here.
Okay.
Or Chandler.
Which tight end?
I mean, you know me, I'd take Hawk, but I know you like Komet, so I'll take Komet if you'd like to.
No, let's do Hawk.
Let's do the Hawk. Like, I just can't shake the notion that if you get to week 17, and it's a big F if you ever get to week 17, and maybe taking a 0 for 6 to 7 weeks is so stupid in your attempt to get to week 17. But I just can't shake the notion that if Mark Andrews doesn't ball, this team's fucking dead anyways. So why not shoot the moon with TJ Hawkinson as being like the crazy differentiating piece that you need, that once you get to the finals, you have 2, elite tight ends that are top 3 round picks or top 5 round picks on your team.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of like draft, like you're right, pieces that exist late, and Hawk is one of them. And in the pairing with Andrews in this example, and like you just laid out, if Andrews is not the guy, this team is dead, and it doesn't matter. Like we took such a big bet on Andrews and Lamar on this team without the wide receiver firepower, that the bet is that they are such outliers that it was worth it. And if it's not worth it, the team is dead. It doesn't matter. So
Okay.
let's sneak through a low-owned TJ Hawkinson because the bet is correct. Like, it took me a while. Maybe I'm just talking to myself here. Kind of took me a while. I mean, I understood draft like you're right? But
Yeah.
like, just look at some of your teams that like didn't do well last year. At least I like to revisit and look at my bad teams. And it's like, why did this team not do well? Well, it's not necessarily because it was bad construction. It was just like the players I drafted weren't the guys you needed.
Right.
Like it just, and it's really is no fault of, I don't know. It just really makes me consider, especially with the elite onesies, like
Yeah.
if they're not the guy, your team is dead anyways. So pretend they're the guy and draft accordingly, and don't condemn yourself to death by overdrafting capital when you dedicate so much to one position, not just the onesies.
Right.
It goes with wide receiver too.
Yeah. The counter to it is if you take zeros, you're dead or something like that. But I think it plays better at the onesies than it does elsewhere, right?
You can definitely overdo it at wide receiver.
Yeah. That's fair. I was just checking in as you were talking there, Nez, on the MLB right now, and I think I have to put a I have to start a new streak, Nez. I think we have fallen victim.
Oh no.
I think we have fallen victim to the Riley Green 0 for 4 with 3 Ks, despite being up with 2 runners on in the first inning there. It does not appear that he can get up again unless something crazy happens in the top of the ninth. So we will be starting a new streak with the community. My apologies.
I thought that was a good one too.
I liked contrarian Tigers today. So famous last words there that the guy you need is Javi Baez, who hasn't had an RBI in 50 something games and records 3 on one swing of the bat there. Yeah, Brandon saying I got 1 out left. Wow. Dylan Cease just hit 100 miles per hour on his 110th pitch after a rain delay. Fuck yeah, what a beast.
Yikes.
I love that. We're seeing a big Kendre Miller fall in this room. I would advocate for pushing up or not Baker, Walker. I would advocate for pushing up Walker for a stack and then taking Danny Dimes.
Jesus Christ. In round 15?
Yeah, why not? What
Because
else
it's a bad pick. Do Jones first.
I'm trying.
Oh,
don't worry.
All right, someone said Cease was throwing a no-no, so I got distracted here. Devontae Walker right here is nuts.
Okay. Tell me on somebody else.
I would maybe do Antonio Gibson, yeah, or Michael Wilson.
Okay, let's do Antonio Gibson.
Walker still goes undrafted sometimes.
Yeah, but like ADP is an artificial construct, and we can just do whatever the fuck we want whenever we want, Nez. If Lamar is smashing, I want that Walker correlation, you know?
Oh, you'll get it.
But I want it paired with contrarian pieces.
We'll get contrarian with their last 3, I promise.
60 pick reach. Bateman was probably still on the board. I just wanted Walker more. We could have taken Bateman, no? Oh no, Bateman went. At least AMAC took Bateman.
Bateman has slappies, man.
Yeah.
People love them some naked Rashad Bateman, and you know what? Just good luck to you.
Oh, so Cease just threw a no-no.
Yeah, and we're drafting best ball teams and missing it.
Dang, that's sick. Let me I'm gonna take a look, Cease here. Did you happen to see last night too that Robbie Ray came back and didn't give up a hit?
I just thought he did well. I didn't see that it was a no-hitter in that outing.
They had a no-hitter through like 7 innings or something. It was combined because they lifted him. I did not draft a single national today, so that one feels good at least. 3-0 victory. They scored all 3 in the first inning there against Patrick Corbin, so not the gas can that we were hoping for today. Patrick Corbin went 7 innings and struck out 7. But Dylan Cease, 9 innings pitched, 3 walks, 9 Ks, a no-hitter. Wow, sick.
I think what's more impressive is Patrick Corbin once again just shoving it down a team's throat. I mean, when is Pat, like every time I stack against Patrick Corbin, he goes nuts. Then the next time that he starts, I'm gonna be light on him, and then he's gonna turn into a pumpkin like always. It's absurd. I cannot get this dude right.
Nobody gets Patrick Corbin right. You just keep doing it, man.
Dark Sheep gets him right because Dark Sheep always plays Corbin.
Oh, nice. That's not a play for our site. That's a play for Redacted. Even if you get Corbin right, you get him wrong.
It's true.
Although today he would have gotten the quality start, no win bonus, but he would have got 14 points, -3 plus the quality. He probably would have scored about 14, 15 points.
Yep, not better than Cease. Oh man, I am not excited to see how my day ends.
We could live check in on mine. We are losing half our entry.
Is crushing right now. Evergreen.
Our guy Allen. We haven't seen him up there in a minute. Glad to see him back here. Brendan Lowe is a one-off. Love that. Baltimore outfielders paired together. Contrarian Texas infielders with Corbin. Looks like a good one. My highest is in 47th place right now. That is worth dick all. Maybe we got one with some ABs left here.
There you go. You got a 50. What's that one below that one?
I don't want to miss our pick. Hold on. Oh yeah, that one's cooking. Fuck. 2 picks away? No. Fastball Mania. 5 picks away. Okay. I will look at what the other one is to let people in on the sweat, despite the streak ending. Maybe we should start the new streak today, and then you can carry it on tomorrow behind the paywall.
Yeah. Let's it kind of sticks because we can't like stream it, but yeah, we should definitely just start a new one, and people can follow along at home on their phones.
Okay, let's see here. Do you have any live teams? Let's see. This team. Oh, seems maybe kind of dead. I don't know. There's a lot of baseball left. There's a lot of time.
There's a ton of baseball left. We still got a Dodgers and Giants still to go through first pitch.
Yeah, really good hitting weather there. Obviously, 2 good pitchers on the mound for both sides there. I drafted 0% Clayton Kershaw because I don't think he's going to go more than 60 pitches. 0% chance at a winner or quality start there. IMO. I'm going to give this a little refresh here. Just make sure we didn't get stuck. Yeah, we did get stuck. And we got Walker. Don't worry, Nez.
There you go.
Running back and or wide receiver, preferably one that stacks with dimes.
Yeah, Slayton is right there. If you hit the running back button there, yeah, these running backs are all freaking trash, man.
Yeah, we're going to shoot the moon on a real scroll the F down with the last pick here. And we're going to do Slayton here. We are going with the 2-5-9-2 as we alluded there. And Slayton double stack. We bet on the whole offense. This is how you kind of try and land the plane after doing that high start, that high T start with one running back in your first 5 picks. Not financial advice, but hey, man, you got to have some fun out here and try and win in a contrarian fashion. Keaton Mitchell with Lamar. Nice way to land the plane from Carlson there. Our boy John Carlson.
Not a bad one. Not a bad option there.
I got a crazy one.
You want to save it or are you going to say it?
Jahar Jordan, man. Easiest bring back in the league off of, you want a contrarian low owned bring back off of the Baltimore stuff with the Texans game there. We got no Indianapolis bring back off the Giants stuff, and we got no bring back off of the Baltimore stuff. You add Jahar Jordan to this roster, and you are printing your way to the 101.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I do like it, right? I mean, when have we ever been? Well, maybe not you, but never been a Joe Mixon guy.
Yeah.
Damian Pierce is not the guy. Think we can say that. They're giving him some nice confidence. It's his third year there, and they owe it to him to say some nice things for whenever they cut him or trade him or whatever. So the teams want to take him because they don't want this guy to be unemployed. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And now you have Jahar Jordan, who, hey, this guy out-touched, out-produced, combine legend Isaac Garendo, and people don't want our generation's Chase Brown, our generation's Samaje Perine of Jahar Jordan.
Yeah, there it is.
Don't they know good Canadian boy Jacob Sanderson just gave him the seal of approval?
Hey, whoa. Fine.
Sorry, John.
He's my guy.
You didn't say it on a Deposit Kingdom video, dude. It doesn't count.
The first time I said it was behind the paywall on the Best Ball After Dark with Pete, and on the randomizer, he was my scrolly F down on the randomizer. So I said it twice on 2 Pete adjacent streams, bud.
All right. We'll check the view counts, buddy. I don't know. It's not about being early.
That's true.
It's about being the best.
I love this comment from Nick that he's getting psyopsed into baseball talk with BBM as background.
Welcome to the Batch Bros, man.
Yeah, we're going to talk about every sport under the sun adjacent to this. Guys, Olympics starting. Olympics started today. I watched a little bit of the Canadian women's footy, watched a little soccer this morning. Yeah.
Holy Aaron Rodgers fall. 18th round Aaron Rodgers is insane. It's
every quarterback's the same.
Aaron Rodgers is okay.
Every quarterback's the same from like
Aaron Rodgers every day.
Every quarterback's the same from like round 20 to like round 20 to like round 15.
That's like a 40 pick fall.
I guess. The Fugazi, man.
Anyways, that's nuts. And then no Justin Fields, even though he's Russ Wilson has a strained calf. Interesting.
Ooh, there's some meta. Let's do it, man.
Take your boy.
Jahar Jordan as the run back you need in
imagine Jahar Jordan like first play, Joe Mixon. He doesn't even make it to the line of scrimmage. It does not look good. We don't know what it is, but it's non-contact, doesn't look good. And Jahar Jordan channels his inner Pheno, a.k.a. his inner Arian Foster, and is the guy you need, and he is cracking our flex every day. And, oh, by the way, we also have Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley.
Jahar Jordan single-handedly beats out Joe Mixon by week 7. He doesn't even need the injury. That's how talented he is.
They can't keep him off the field.
They can't keep him off. We gave Joe Mixon 3 years, restructured his deal, gave him all this money, and Jahar Jordan, baby, 25-year-old guy, late declare. Oh man, I do like this. I like that. I think he's older. He's like 24, 25. I do like the Samaje Perine comp though, like where it's like he could be the passing down sets guy because they've shown a propensity to not like Pierce in the past. Pure dart throw there, but one of the scrolly F down names that we talked about yesterday. All right, Nez, it will be your decision to tell me if we landed the plane or not in a 2-5-9-2. Not financial advice. Don't try this at home, where we took one wide receiver in the first 5 rounds. But if you're going to do it with one wide receiver, why not do it with Malik Neighbors, who could potentially be a 5th round pick, and or he could potentially be the 101. He could be anything, Nez. So you do it with the mystery box at least. Lamar Jackson, Danny Dimes paired together. CMC, Saquon, Chase Brown, Antonio Gibson, Jahar Jordan on the bring back. Malik Neighbors, JSN, Brian Thomas, Joshua Palmer, Dubs, Cooks, Burton, Walker, who I wanted to take 60 picks above ADP for correlation purposes because I forgot which round we were in. Darius Slayton, Mark Andrews, TJ Hawkinson. Nez, what do you think? Give me a letter grade out of 10.
Oh man, how can you not like this team? If this
Yeah?
team can kind of like ping pong some spike weeks off of the wide receivers until we get these late round rookies really cooking, this team poses a problem. Some ways that this team can like turn into a super team is Chase Brown assuming a larger role than we expected, and run a little hot at touchdowns. Gibson also like assuming a nice pass catching role, and then obviously Jahar Jordan is like the ultimate trump card there if he ends up exploding. But that's a long shot bet. If we get the Chase Brown role that we could never even imagine, this is huge for this team. And then at wide receiver, obviously like Malik Neighbors, I think we can have confidence in. But the way that we built this wide receiver room, I think was smart. And if you are not taking early wide receivers, you need to have ceiling. And I think JSN and Brian Thomas, JSN second year breakout, Brian Thomas rookie on a nice offense, represents ceiling. It might not be consistent to start, but there is ceiling there. Mm-hmm. And then you pair that with Palmer, Dubs, and Cooks. Dubs maybe has a ceiling, but there's so many wide receivers there, but he does seem like a very steady one. Joshua Palmer, steady wide receiver, probably no ceiling. Brandon Cooks, wide receiver 2 in Dallas, going to be an awesome offense. Probably not a lot of ceiling there. But then we say, okay, here's our wide receiver 3 for most weeks. Then you get Jermaine Burton, who like potential like huge upside there, could give you some like 24-point weeks every now and then. Devontae Walker with the stack as well could be huge. Mm-hmm. And then Slayton as well with the stack. I like the way that we went about drafting a quote unquote weak wide receiver room by giving ourselves access to ceiling. And then obviously Andrews at tight end is a slam dunk. So I'm going to give this 9 out of 10.
Whoa.
I think this team is set up to just be a monster, right? Like why not do some more drafts like this? Why not take elite onesies with your McCaffrey 2 RB start? Why not?
I think the only possible way we could have made this team better in quotations out of like what we did in totality is maybe if we flipped a running back for a wide receiver in this like 140s range here. Like you pass on the Burton ceiling shot, you take a running back there, and then you take like Luke McCaffrey 20 picks later, and you kind of are making the same bet to like a little lesser extent, but you get a little last piece of flex equity running back there instead of being like, let's shoot the moon on Jahar Jordan with our last pick. I think that's probably the only deviation that I could see which would have made it better.
Yeah, I think, if I was to devote a skeleton key to this team, I think I would say it's Chase Brown. Like we have so many wide receivers that we can probably find ourselves like some decent wide receiver 2 and 3 points that aren't killing us. But if Chase Brown is like that dude and is catching, 6 passes a game, also like getting 10 rush attempts a game, and he's like a consistent flex for us that is outscoring other teams' flexes, then this team is cooking with absolute gas.
Love it. Yeah, a lot of things got to go right, but if you shoot the moon in the right direction, we get there with this kind of build. It was very fun to try. Very fun that it just kind of like organically happened and took like we just kind of navigated our way through it rather there. The other one that I would say that this team hinges largely upon is Joe Mixon by accident. This team largely hinges on Chase Brown becoming what Joe Mixon wasn't before and filling that void, and then it hinges on the contingent value of Joe Mixon continuing to be Joe Mixon so that they see some value in Jahar Jordan as the patch catcher and rotationary back there.
I was not talk about having your third eye open. I mean, I just think that this team is like not stupid, like people do some dumb shit and deviate, but like I think this is how you do it and make it make sense. Like, is it the preferred way to build a team? Hell no. But does it make sense? Like, I'm not even, I'm dead serious. Like, yes, I'm not.
Yeah.
I meant I was very sincere in that in that grade and in the analysis of this team. I think this can work.
Well, I think the most shocking part about your grade wasn't the 9. It was the fact that you chose a number instead of a letter this time.
I was actually going to give it on a scale of like good, great, best, awesome, or something instead. But
that'd be pretty good too. Best Ball Viper gifted out some membies to the chat today, so I want to take a look at his team after he says that he likes it, and it's not a good sign that he likes it. But he did kind of similar build to us, where he punted wide receiver. So it's very interesting to see this in the same round. He didn't take a wide receiver until the 7th round and took the aforementioned Curtis Samuel as his WR1. Aren't you worried? But like Bijan, JT, Kyron, a Mahomes Kelsey stack in the 4-5. Then he takes Kenneth Walker, and then he just pisses with this second tier of wide receiver. He takes the Samuel, Sutton, Shakir, A.D. Mitchell, Josh Downs. So he makes 2 bets on potentially 2 high-scoring offenses, but he does it without the quarterbacks there. Then he takes Mike Dubb. Then he takes Kirk Cousins that stacks with Bijan, shoots the moon on Franklin and Corley and Mims, then stacks with Nix, and then adds Greg Dulcich as the getting a little camp steam to make that backdoor Bo Nix. Very intelligent, very like fun, contrarian style build. Same as our team, where it's like you're shooting the moon in like this insane, crazy fashion that we technically deem not optimal, and some of the data will suggest not optimal, but he did it in a logical fashion, right?
Yeah, no, that's some really fun team that he put together there. I love the way that ended there with like the Knicks and Dulcich there.
Yeah, Dulcich getting some steam right now.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one where like we start seeing Dulcich get mixed in here. I'm seeing MVS start to go here. I think I'm team Mac Hollins over MVS right now from everything I've read and seen. But like, I mean, you're just flipping a coin there. But it's another player who has now entered the player pool. So as soon as this camp news comes, this is peak time to be soaking some of this shit up there. Yeah, very interesting team there. Eli pointing out that he did go with the Knicks over Rodgers, despite having Malachi Corley as well. He could have taken the Rodgers one right there instead of letting Rodgers fall to last round, but he had set up more Denver pieces and didn't deviate from his plan, kind of deal. Very fun.
Oh yeah.
All right, Ness. I think we should tie a bow on it there. I think we will be back tomorrow behind the paywall. I think we start the streak tomorrow because I was just kind of peering over some stuff on the side. I don't really see anything that I love for the remainder of today, unless you do.
No, I checked and I let me see if this game started yet. I did start one before the show. And it's going right now, and it's it's a dual lower. Kind of a lower, bro. Now I don't know if you know this. Lower on Springer runs and a lower on Randy fantasy points of 7.
Okay, yeah, that game's already in like the 5th inning or something. So
fingers crossed. We'll start a new one tomorrow too. Like, why not? Why not just start a streak every day?
Oh man, sounds good. There was one more little comment that I had, but now I have totally forgotten it, and it was kind of. I'm just trying to refresh my mind by looking at Best Ball Vipers team because I thought it was kind of important, but now I have totally forgotten. All right. Anyways,
where are you going tomorrow again?
I got a buddy's wedding this weekend, so we're playing like a mini golf tournament thing. So we're actually playing 2 rounds of golf tomorrow and the next day.
Damn.
Yeah, before the wedding and stuff like that. So we're making like a mini tournament and then whatever. But gonna miss out on seeing copper prices because our guy Copper Price is going to be here tomorrow. But
no way.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. But it reminds me to make sure I send him a message about some recommendations for Whistler and stuff. Anyways, we still got 250 of us hanging out. We appreciate you guys. We had 8 gifted memberships today. Much, much love and appreciation. We will make good on those memberships tomorrow by giving you the baseball meta for tomorrow's slate behind the paywall. That will be YouTube exclusive. So if you are not currently watching on YouTube and you happen to be on the X platform, jump on over, give us a like, give us a subscribe, all that good stuff. If you've made it this far in the video, you probably kind of like us at least a decent amount or whatever. So just go that little extra mile for us. I know it's just one more click there, but I do have to pander to the crowd because it will keep a roof over our head
It does.
and keep Mr. Good Boy fed. Oh no. Oh no, Nez. Jumfrey suggesting new contests. Oh my goodness. All right. We were trying to wrap up the show, but we have to go and check out what's in the lobby now. They're springing us on something
Wow.
for a live reaction.
Holy shit.
All right, let's see what we got. Giving it a refresh. I'm seeing all the baseball at the front of the board. We got the After Dark. We got some Pup Cup. We got some golf for the weekend there. The college tournament, Mastiff, weekly winners. Where are we going here? Slow puppies. We got a new single entry contest. $75 price point, 3K entries there. Single entry, 50K to first. And then we got the Corgi, a single entry as well, but at a low price point, a contest I don't think we've ever seen before because the lowest price point single entry we had seen in the past was $7, I believe, 10 or 7. There was a single entry there, but we got brand new single entry contest. Fuck yeah, I love me.
You know what's
the silver bullet?
Yeah, you know what's awesome about this one is it's 112, 110, 15
on the advance rates.
Yeah, so 112, 110, 15. So that's tough, man. It's not 2 out of 12, it's 1 out of 12. And then 75 seat final, and all money is in the finals.
Wow.
So wow.
Yeah, so conventional wisdom would suggest that the finals are the most important because all the money's there, right? But it's only a 75-person final, and you have to get through 1 out of 12, 1 out of 10, and 1 out of 5.
The toughest pod to advance is your room.
Right. Dare we say regular season is all that matters, and then let the chips fall where they may?
Weeks 1 through 14?
Wow. This is fun. Very cool concept. My initial knee-jerk reaction to something like that, Nez, is betting on an isolated team. If you nail that team that is kind of like we use Baltimore Orioles of last year. Let's use a football analogy. If you nail the Miami Dolphins of last year, you nail that running back room that was underpriced. That's what carries you. And then you also have the correlation necessary for isolated spike weeks in the playoffs. So this will be kind of, to me, seems like a four players, one team onslaught with the quarterback. Bet on that offense breaking the slate kind of thing is like the cleanest path.
Yeah, I think you might be right on that.
Texans last year. Thank you, Peppertoni. That's a better example.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And then I think I'll go 3 quarterbacks in the Corgi as well. That seems to be pretty solid for advancing and giving you some uniqueness in the finals. Showing up to week 17 with 3 different QBs to score for is pretty fun, man. This is a really cool way to think about it. I haven't checked out the Bulldog structure yet, but this is a 20-seat final. This one is much flatter, and payouts begin at 100th place. So that would be so no money until the semifinals. There is what I think that comes down to. I
mean, from a single entry, I like that stuff more. Like where you need like some flatter payout scale and some flatter whatever is when you're putting in mass multi-enter and putting in tons of entries into these things. If you want to go top heavy on a single bullet, like that makes a lot of sense to me because you're just going to it's binary outcome for one isolated bullet, regardless of price point. Where you kind of need to balance is to incentivize people to play like max volume, right? And if the volume is 1, then it's just a price point debate, right?
Yeah. No, I think that's right. To think of it like that, because like we see it with the dailies too, right? Where like the flat, like having it flatter when you are multi-entering is really important for the ecosystem. So yeah, I think that makes sense.
Cool. By the sounds of it, Brandon Lau just homered again from our guy Eli White there. So that's probably pretty good for that A Rosen lineup in first there. So best of luck to him, member of the community. Very fun stuff there. All right. 250 of us still hanging out. 8 gifted membies on the day. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys so much. Nez will make good on those membies tomorrow. Paywall stream. Any indication on time slot tomorrow, Nez?
TBD. I might hit up my boy Chris G and see him tomorrow, and that would be in the morning. So probably similar Badge Bros time slot. I would expect.
Sounds good. So somewhere in that 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern range, just a double so it didn't break the slate. Anyways, all right. Do us a favor, like, thumb, not playing on Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code MLB at sign up. 50% match deposit up to 250 USD. That's 10 BBM entries on the house if you are not playing on the good site yet. All right, Nez. On behalf of you, on behalf of me, everybody's favorite time of the show, the end. Peace.